Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. So today's class, we're going to start here in a few minutes, but we're doing a pretty relaxed class this morning. We're going to be floor-based. We're just going to stretch everything out because, to be honest, I just woke up feeling like I needed a really good stretch today. So have your yoga strap if you have it, have your blocks handy if you have them, maybe a blanket. And yeah, we're gonna just stretch it all out today. So we'll start here, in about 3 or so minutes. So you have time to gather your your props and get set up. Again, the chat on my computer is saying it's unable to connect. I don't know why. Maybe I'll try to write something. Maybe it'll connect. But yeah. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Finally, we get some nice weather. I'm really looking forward to getting outside. I think it's supposed to be like 16 degrees or something out today. So after this, a little bit of time in the sun makes everything better. Again, if you are just jumping in, I see the numbers going up and down, so I don't know if these are new people coming in or not, but you're going to just need a yoga strap, maybe a couple of yoga blocks, and a blanket today, or a folded towel. So I have it 10:30 on my clock here, so I'm just going to wait one more minute or so just to make sure people have a chance to tune in if they are coming in. Again, you're going to just need your yoga strap, a couple yoga blocks, and a blanket today. We're going to be floor-based, focusing on just really stretching everything out today. Nice sort of restorative-ish class. Okay, I've got 10:32, so I'm going to make my way to the mat and we're going to get started. If you didn't already hear, one more reminder, you'll need your yoga strap, yoga blocks, and a blanket for today's practice. We are actually going to begin lying down for our centering time today. So find your way to your mat, lay down, maybe a blanket or folded blanket or folded towel under your head, and let's get started. As you lie down, make sure you also have your yoga strap within reach because we will be using that shortly as well. And lie down any way that feels comfortable. So you can have the knees bent or straight, whatever feels better for you. Hands can rest wherever they feel comfortable. I like to place mine on my belly to help watch the breath. Let the eyes close. And just start to tune into your body. Noticing how your body is feeling this morning. You might do a little body scan, just looking for areas of tension or tightness. Softening and relaxing into any tight spots you come across. You might feel the contact of the body into the floor. You might feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Focusing on your breath. Feel that breath moving through your body. For today's practice, you might imagine your entire body breathing. Let's take one more deep breath here. Then just pick up your fingers and start to wiggle your fingers a little bit, waking the body back up. If your knees are bent, straighten the legs. We're going to find a full body stretch. So let's just take those arms, reach them over our head, reach out through the legs and the feet, and take a big stretch. Couple deep breaths here. And then exhale to let the arms come down beside you once again and bend your knees. Bring the feet onto the floor and wiggle those feet so they are wide distance apart on your mat. We're just going to windshield wiper those legs. Slowly rolling them to the left side to start. Inhale to bring them up to center and exhale them to the right side. So moving nice and slow with your breath. Bringing the knees back up to center. Your feet can come in closer together if that's comfortable. Let's give the right knee a hug. Hands over the shin, or even using your belt over the shin if that works better for you today. Circle your ankle out. Wiggle your toes. Bringing those circles into the leg. So you're circling your knee around, but the movement is coming into your hip. Both directions with those leg circles. Bringing your knee back to center, looping your belt around the sole of the right foot and stretching it up toward the ceiling, trying to get that leg straight, even if that means the foot or the heel is a little bit lower. We're just going to breathe into that stretch. We're going to keep working with our left knee bent today. Left foot stays on the floor. One more deep breath here. And then bring both ends of the belt into that right hand. Make sure the right hand is reaching up. So you don't want your right foot or your right heel to drop closer to the floor. And then left arm can come down to the floor. Left knee tips open into like a half butterfly. Right leg opens. And breathe here. Try to keep a balanced weight through the back of the hips. Keep reaching through that right heel. Inhale both legs up to center. Change hands on the belt. The left hand holds the belt, and you're going to take your right leg toward the left, just past the midline. That left knee can tip in toward the right, so your two thighs might cross over here. Make sure, once again, that that right heel is still reaching up nice and high toward the ceiling. Reaching through the heel. Inhale to bring the leg back to center. As you release the right foot from the belt, you're going to bend your right knee. Bring the outer right ankle to the top of the left thigh, coming right into our thread the needle. So you're opening through that right knee and hip. You can either stay here with the left foot on the floor if that's already enough of a stretch for the outer hip today, or you can hug those legs in, hands or the belt coming behind your left thigh. As you exhale, release, uncrossing that right leg, bringing both feet back on the floor and just pausing for a breath. Exhaling that left knee, hugging in. Circling out your left ankle, wiggling your toes. Bringing that movement into the hip as you circle that left leg around. Both directions. And then looping the belt, stretching the left foot up toward the ceiling. Keep working with that full body breath. Deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Both ends of the belt come into that left hand, right knee tips open to the right, left leg opens out to the left. Right hand can come down to the floor, reaching through that left heel. Inhale the legs up to center, switch hands, right hand holds the belt. Left foot moves toward the right, right knee tips in toward the left. Inhale the leg to center, both legs to center, releasing that left foot out of the belt, crossing it over so the outer left ankle can come to the top of the right thigh. Same thing here, either keeping the right foot on the floor or hugging the legs in, hands or belt coming behind the right thigh. Breathe. Make sure you don't let that left knee collapse inward toward the body. Keep it open. As you exhale, release, let those feet come back down to the floor and palm. Roll onto your right side, bringing yourself up so you can come into a tabletop position, hands and knees, blanket or towel under the knees. Preparing for cat and cow here. So starting with a neutral spine, deep inhale, exhaling to round into cat. Inhaling to arch the back, lift the chest up, look up into cow. Move with your breath at your pace. And then bring the spine back to a neutral position. We're going to move into some hip circles here. So you might walk the hands just slightly ahead so the wrists are slightly ahead of the shoulders. Forgot a hair tie this morning, so my hair is everywhere. But okay, we're going to take those hips forward, all the way over to the right, back across the heels like you're going to come into child's pose, but then you're just going to keep going. All the way around, one direction a few times. And then switch directions. Coming back to your tabletop, take your knees wider apart, toes together. Let's sit back into our child's pose. As you inhale, slowly rise all the way up. You can untuck your legs. We're going to come into a seated forward fold or two. So you might choose to sit up onto a block or folded blanket. I'm going to sit up onto my folded blanket. I'm going to face you guys just so you can see what's happening here. So you might just want to sit up onto anything that will tip your, lift your hips up, tip your pelvis forward. And today we're going to take Upavista with our legs. So taking a nice wide stance. But before we do a forward fold here with the knees straight, we're going to come into a bent knee version. So this is going to come more into your hips than into the muscles in the back of your legs. So have the knees bent in whatever way feels comfortable, starting with a nice long spine, and then you're just going to crawl your hands forward until you feel happy, until you feel stretched and comfortable. You can either just stay like this, or you can also set your blocks up for a support for the head so that you can bring your forehead onto blocks. Just softening into those hips. As you inhale, lift all the way up. And then we're going to straighten out our legs. Fun fact, this is actually one of my least favorite and least accessible poses in my body. So you want to make sure your toes are up toward the ceiling. You don't want your legs to roll open. And then you can start sitting tall. And from here, you can stay just as you are if that's enough of a stretch. Otherwise, you can start to, once again, just walk those hands forward a little bit. Really listening to your body. Make sure the toes don't roll out. Just notice in your body where you're tensing your muscles. See if they can relax. Let's take one more breath here. And then inhale to sit all the way up. Legs can come back in together. Give them a little shake, a little roll out. And we're coming back onto our back. So you might want your blocks nearby. We're going to come into a happy baby. So similar to what we were just doing seated with our knees bent, softening through the hips, we're now doing that on our back in our happy baby. So lying down, take a moment here with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And then hug your knees in, but bring the knees wider apart so the knees aren't coming in together. So they're moving more toward the hip bones, the outer edges of the torso. You have a couple of options here. Some people prefer to do their happy baby with a belt. So if that's you, you'd loop the belt around the soles of the feet. Keeping the knees bent, you want to bring the feet up towards the ceiling, softening through those hips. If you can reach, you can either hold the back of the thighs, you can reach for the calves or the ankles, or all the way up for the feet here. You want to make sure that your tailbone is lengthening toward the floor. Your entire back body is into the mat. And just maybe find a little rock and roll. Exhale to release, and we're coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet together, bent knees open toward the floor, and this is where you might want to slide your blocks under the outer thighs just for some additional support. And then hands resting wherever they feel most comfortable. Eyes can close. We're going to stay here for just about 2 minutes. So just rest here. As you inhale, bring the knees in together. We're going to lift up into a supported bridge from here. So making sure your feet are hip distance apart, press into the feet, slide your block on whichever height works best for you today, under the sacrum, under the hips, letting the hips rest heavy into your support. Oops, you shouldn't have anything under your head for this one. So just take that blanket out if you have something under your head. And then just rest here. The reason you don't have anything under your head here is because your hips are lifted. If your head is also lifted, you can see how the spine would be sort of boat-shaped. You don't want your neck to be compromised like that. So you always want the shoulders and the head flat in this pose. Now, if you're happy here, just stay as you are. Otherwise, if you'd like, we're going to take the legs up. So it's sort of a variation on legs up the wall. You're going to keep the hips onto the block. You might even hold onto the block for extra stability. And then you're just going to lift those legs all the way up, keeping the hips heavy into the support. It's also referred to as a supported half shoulder stand. Again, nothing under the head here. If the legs are lifted, carefully bend the knees, bring the feet back down onto the floor. And then everybody press into the feet to lift the hips and slide your block out from underneath. Let's give those knees a hug in toward the belly, in toward the chest, finding a little gentle rock and roll here. Finishing off with our reclining twist. Open those arms out wide on the floor like the letter T at shoulder height. And the knees can drop over to the left side. You can bring that blanket or towel back under the knees, or sorry, under the head if you'd like. Try to rotate the palms up toward the ceiling here so that the shoulders stay nice and open. And soften into your twist. Inhale the knees up to center. Exhale them to the other side. Again, you don't need the block under the knees unless that works for you. I'm just choosing this variation today. Inhale the legs back up to center, making your way into your Shavasana. Letting the legs stretch out if that's comfortable. Otherwise, keeping the knees bent or in any other position that lets you rest. Arms relaxing beside you. Eyes closing. Starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bringing some life and awareness back into your body. Slowly bending the knees, bringing your feet onto the floor. Rolling onto your right side, using your arm as a pillow, and you can take a little rest there if it's comfortable. And slowly making your way back up to a sitting position. Whew, sounds like a little nap. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always send an email since I don't think the chat is working. At least it doesn't appear to be on my end. I hope you have a great rest of the day, a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Namaste. Stay healthy, everybody.